All right. I am going to take you on a little tour through the STAAR Online testing program. Um, I'm going to do a couple of different things, but I'm going to make this so that it's for teachers or students. So if you're a teacher, hello. If you're a student, hello. But if you're a student, so teachers, for all students, they will need to be at their beginning screen, their opening screen. And down in the lower left-hand corner where it says add person, there's also a place that says apps. They need to go into their apps. And they will have an app titled STAAR Online Testing Program. They need to open that up. It may be a blank white screen for a little while. It does take a while to load on the student Chromebooks. Once they're there, students, once you're there, you can do a tutorial and it will take you through all of these different tools. The only bad thing about the tutorial is it includes all of the bells and whistles, all of the features, but not every student will have those features. So I'm actually going to take you through what the test might look like. So I'm going to go into a practice test and I'm going to choose a year. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose 7th grade writing. So students at home, if you want to do this, like I said, you can do a tutorial, but you're probably going to get the best bet out of going through a practice test. The test, for today's purposes, I'm going to demonstrate with no PNP. At the end of the video, near the end of the video, I will go back and show you some of the other features that you might get. PNP basically stands for personal needs and preferences. The majority of students will have no personal needs and preferences. There are some students who may have some. So I will go through the video and then I will show you some of the other features that you might see students having. So when they open it up, first things first, it's going to give you some directions. There's a scroll bar. Read each question carefully and determine the best answer. It tells the kids what to do. This is probably going to be the part where the testing teacher is going over it with the kids. As they move through the test, the questions are numbered at the bottom so they can see it. The current question is circled. They can use the back or the next button, or they can click on the actual number to go to that question number. They can click mark for review. It's right up here underneath the Zoom color help logout icons. And so students, if you see a question where you're like, I don't know if that's the right answer, I want to come back and check it later, you can click that button and we'll actually leave a little orange or red flag to remind you, hey, go back and check this later. And then to see all the questions that have been marked for review, when you click on the review or end button at the end of the test, it will alert you, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Available tools. So here's part of the issue. Not all of these tools are available to every student. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you some of the basic tools, like the highlighter, the Eliminator, the guideline, the Zoom, things like that. So this is where students would be stopping until it's time to move on into the test, okay? So testing teachers, like just make sure students know, do not open the test until time is ready. On the writing test, I'm going to talk to the students first here. Students, couple of things I want you to remember. You have to do the composition. You have to do the essay. The essay is a half of your overall score. So I need you to understand, you can't just not do it. You can't just do 2 sentences and call that an essay. You know that an essay should be 3 to 5 paragraphs, right? With a hook and a controlling idea and reasons and examples, and then a conclusion paragraph, like all of that should be in there. So you can't just skip it. I need you to read the information in the box below. According to surveys, only 8% of Americans keep their New Year's resolutions. In fact, nearly half of the Americans break their promises within the first month of the year. Students, I need you to remember, this is not your topic. New Year's resolutions is not what you're going to write about. This is just a place to get your ideas flowing. Now, you could use this as an example. You could use this as a hook, but this is not, New Year's resolutions is not what you're writing about. You want to look right down here where it says write an essay explaining why it's important to keep the promises you make. That's what your whole paper is going to be about. This is where the final draft of your essay is going to go. It's my recommendation, and probably your English teacher has told you the same thing. Plan it out on paper. Maybe even write your rough draft on paper so you can see for sure how long it is. Because your essay should probably be 3/4 to a page long. And that's hard to tell on here how much you have written. Now, I will show you when you start typing, a couple of things happen. You'll notice down here, this blue bar is showing you how much room you have left. Unlike the benchmark test where you could have written 20 pages, you only have 1,750 characters here. And it's giving you a running count, 85 of the 1,750 characters have been used. So as this blue bar advances, that's how you know you're getting close to the end of your page. But if you'll plan it out on scratch paper, every student is entitled to scratch paper. If you'll plan it out on scratch paper or even write it on scratch paper, A, your essay will be much better and clearer, and B, you'll know exactly how long it is. So you don't have to ask your testing teacher, how long does it have to be? Well, it can't be more than 1,750 characters, and a character is a letter or a punctuation mark, okay? So testing teachers, please make sure that when you pick up your testing supplies, you pick up scratch paper for the students. They are entitled to scratch paper and pencil. You cannot force it on them, but they are entitled to it. So please make sure you have that available. If you need more, contact your hallway person, your reliever, so that they can go get you more. But we have, as English teachers, we have been encouraging that for them. Some of you may have an accommodation up here at the top, a benefit at the top that says writing checklist. So if you have that, if you see that on your screen, then use it. It's going to just be a bunch of reminders. So this is the essay. The essay has to be done. You can't skip it, guys. You need to do it, okay? When you move on to the next portion, so that's the essay, the composition portion. The next portion is a revision portion. It's the revising multiple choice part. It's going to make you read the passage first. Once you've read the passage, notice it has its own scroll bar. You're going to click to the next. And that scroll bar, you can still move it up and down. Over here is the question and the answer choices. And you're just going to click on it to get your answer choice. There are a couple of tools that I want to point out that you can use. One is a highlighter, and it's not up here. You literally just highlight the text that you want to have highlighted, and when you let go, it's going to pop up a highlight button, and you can highlight it, or you can erase part of the highlight, okay? You can do that for your questions. Like if your teacher has told you how to highlight specific portions of the question or specific words, you can use that. You also have a sticky note. So you could make a sticky note by clicking on it. And when I move my arrow around, you see a little box with a plus sign on it. That's your note. So if I wanted to put a note right here, I could leave myself a note like, watch out for the controlling idea. And then when you close it, that sticky note will stay right there. This is great for using your, for putting out your thinking, like I'm choosing this because it has something to do with the controlling idea, whatever it is. Another tool that you can use is the guideline tool. If you have trouble keeping up with where you are, students, you can use this guideline tool. as you read. It's the same as moving your finger across the page. You can use it also for the questions. There's also the Eliminator tool. It actually, when you click on it, it gives you an X like, this is not the right answer. This is not the right answer. So this will help you kind of narrow down. If you're trying to decide between A and D, you can narrow it down to figure out which one you think is the right. When you're done with the Eliminator tool, you just click it again and it'll go away. And now I can change my answer. Okay, and you'll notice down here, as soon as I click on an answer, it highlights blue. There is also a pencil tool where I can use the pencil to circle, to do a question mark, to do a check mark. I can underline something. I can make a line and underline it, or use a point. There's the eraser. You can change the colors. That is available for all people, for all students. You can also zoom in. By clicking zoom, it'll give you this little menu so that you can either make it really big if you need to, or you can move around the page. So if you have trouble seeing things, if you need it to be large, the zoom tool is for you. Okay. And then when you're done with it, just click the X. If you are a person, I'm going to move on just a little bit. You can also clear using this button. So maybe I don't want to see all that marking anymore. If I hit clear, it'll take everything away where I'm marked. It leaves my sticky notes, but it'll take everything else away. If you are a student who maybe your eyesight or you have a lot of eye strain, maybe all of this white area is hard to see, it hurts your eyes, you can change the color. And so for me, it's easier when I look at a black background with a white text. I will caution you, don't do something just to do it, but I had a student tell me today, this actually looks best to him. It really hurts my old eyes, but if it works best for my student, then I say go for it. Teachers, if you see a student with a screen like this, don't panic. They didn't do anything wrong. This is just what we're going to assume they prefer and what helps them the most. And I would also say this is not the battle to fight with them. If they want to have black screen with yellow writing, let them. You don't have to have it, but if that helps them, I would say just let them be. Personally, that is very difficult for me to see. So I'm going to go back to the default, which is just our white screen, black writing. Again, you can use this mark for a review tool. If I'm not sure about question 3, I can skip it and leave a little flag to remind myself to go back to it. When you get to the last 2 passages on this practice test and on your actual STAAR test, these are the editing questions. They work just the same. We have a passage, and then we have our questions. And they could be questions. These are the questions that are more about like capitalization, usage, punctuation, spelling. So stitched to stitched. So S-T-I-T-C-H-E-D to stitched, S-T-I-C-H-E-D. Now, some of you, well, hold on. This is a question that you should not miss because your testing teacher has dictionaries available in the classroom, dictionaries and thesauruses. If you need a dictionary, ask for one. You are entitled to one. All students are entitled to one. However, if you are looking in the dictionary and you can't find what you want, you can even ask for a different kind of dictionary. If your testing teacher says, I only have these yellow dictionaries, ask them very politely but firmly to have the testing coordinator bring a different type of dictionary. We have all kinds of dictionaries in our building. We can bring you one that will help you. So please do ask for that. Testing teachers, please make sure dictionaries are out and available. If you can put them on their desk, it's even better. But if they ask for a different one, don't be surprised. They're just trying to get the best possible answer for themselves. All right, last thing, a couple more things. Up here, we have the pause button. That's a great place, a great thing to use if you're just going to the bathroom or taking a short break. just ask your testing teacher. Testing teachers, the pause is for short breaks. The log out button is what they'll use when they go to lunch or if they're going to the clinic. That's the one, because those are the things that actually stop their time. The time is not counted against them. So just keep that in mind. Pause is for short breaks. Log out is for longer breaks that don't count against their 4-hour time window. Students, when you are at the end of your test, so let's say you get to the end of your test, it's going to show you which ones you have answered and not answered. It will also show you which ones you marked for review. So let's say I was like, I'm just done taking this test. I don't want to take this test anymore. I'm going to end the test. First of all, do not end the test until you've notified your testing teacher. They're going to look at your screen and make sure you've answered everything. But just in case, you cannot say, I accidentally submitted. Because guess what? When I submit with 29 unanswered questions and 1 marked for review, it's giving me the sign you will not be able to return to the test once you select submit and end test. And then they're asking you, are you sure you want to submit your answers and end the test? You have to actually click this and then say, yes, submit and end test. So you can't say, I accidentally submitted, I need to go back. Once you end the test, it's over. You cannot go back. You cannot change anything. No one can help you do that. So you need to really make sure that you have finished the test and you have shown your testing teacher, look, all my answers are lit up blue. That means I have them answered. From here, they're hyperlinked. You can go back to that specific question. So if you just want to go back and look at the one for review, you can do that. Okay. Then when you're finally done, you will end the test. At this time, this is sort of the ending of what most students will see. I want to bring up a couple of things that students who have accommodations in place might see. So just to make sure, just so that teachers, you understand what might happen if a student has a different accommodation. And those accommodations are already set for students, and you should be notified about what it is, but just in case you're not, it should be already clicked on to their test. So if they have accommodations like for speaking, for text to speech, it's going to ask them to check their speaking tool and make sure that they can hear that. It's going to take them through the same directions that I just covered. But students, some of you may have this writing checklist that will tell you all of the different things, just reminders. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? This is just a way to make sure that you really did all the things you need to do. Students, you might also have a speaking or audio button where it's going to start reading the passage to you. It will also, you can, if you just need a word pronounced, you can also, if you have a student who has a screen like this, they will have, if it has these little dotted lines underneath, if they click on that, this is a content language support where it will input the answer choice in the passage where it's asking to go in the passage, basically is what it does. Not all students will have that. It is a very cool feature for those who get it. So like on this, it will put in they in place of it, as opposed to like going back and trying to think through it. If you see this, it means it will not read the passage and it will not read the answer choices. If students ask you why, that is because on the editing portion, it might have something that says like, he could not BREATH. If you were to read that, if the computer was to read that aloud, it would say he could not breath. And it's going to give away the answer if the answer choice is change breath to breathe. So on the editing passages, it will not read the passage and it will not read the answers because it could possibly give away one of the, it could possibly give away the answer choice, the correct answer choice. They still have all of the same tools, guidelines, Eliminator, sticky notes, pencil, highlighter. It will also, you can highlight a word and then use the speak button. So those are some of the things that are available on this STAAR program. Students can access this from their apps. Additionally, if students, I would say definitely practice. If you haven't already practiced in class, you can practice at home. If a student is using their own personal computer, it will not allow them to do that because they don't have the app downloaded. So if a student comes to school on STAAR Day with their own personal computer, please make sure to let your hallway monitor know so we can get them a school computer. If you have any questions, I'm brand new to the STAAR Online testing. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any extra things to add, also please let me know. And then students, if you need help or you're not sure what to do, please reach out to your English teacher so that we can point you in the right direction. Thanks, guys.